I'm Janice Edwards. Coming up on Bay Area Vista, we have the stars of Motown The Musical, music by Victoria Tweevy, and so much more. It's an incredible show. Join us. I'm Janice Edwards. Welcome to Bay Area Vista. We are talking with the stars of Motown The Musical, an incredible show. Absolutely amazing. We were talking about American innovation today, and Berry Gordy created Hitsville, USA, which became Motown, and the legend lives on. Nicholas Christopher and Patrice Covington are two of the stars of the show. Welcome to you both. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And you have several awards to your credit, and you're also Grammy nominated, I should mention, Patrice,
yes.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
This show, and you play Smokey Robinson.
Yes.
You play Martha Reeves, and it weaves the fabric of our lives through song. What did you have to learn about Smokey Robinson? I interviewed him years ago, and you had the mannerisms. You had great mannerisms with that. But what did you have to learn about him?
I didn't realize that Smokey was actually the vice president of the company. I didn't realize that he was so, I knew he was a great songwriter and a great singer and a great performer, but I didn't realize his business, the business side, that he influenced so much with the company as well, and how integral he was to Motown becoming what it is.
Yes, and what good friends he and Berry Gordy were.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
or have been, I should say.
Yes.
Yes. And what about you? I also met Martha, and it's incredible when you meet these living legends. How did you do your research?
It's definitely an honor for both of us to be two of the few in the cast who are able to play people who are still living, because they were able to give us the opportunity to actually speak to these people. Smokey came to the show, and I think you've met him previously as well, but the lady that I play the most in the show, her name is Edna Anderson, and she's one of Berry Gordy's right-hand women, and she was very, very influential to his crossing over and to, she was, in the show I say, you're a sellout, basically. You're trying to get the white people to do this, but the black people want it, and he needed that. He needed someone like that who was an activist, but a positive activist that was going to help him make that change and help him see both sides of what he needed to do. I love this woman. She's so sassy. She's so beautiful.
Can you do her voice, too?
Boss. She's so Southern. She's from West Virginia, and I'm from Virginia, so very different. But she's a lovely lady, and I just learned so much about what she really was to the company, and I love that they all still work for him today.
That's what's incredible too, and you get such a sense of the business with all of that goes behind the scenes, and it told the story. I mean, some of it went deep, some of it was a little bit of a sugarcoating in terms of some of the relationships, but also the love was what came through, the love between Diana and Berry, the love that Smokey and Berry had, the love that Edna has, and the vision for really making this business something that is a foundation and a living legacy for all of us. It looks like so much fun to do the show. Now I know it's work. I earned my equity card years ago. Could never do what you do, but I know how much work goes into rehearsals. But you make it look effortless. How did that come about?
Thank you. Practice, practice, practice. It's exactly. 8 shows a week is hard, I guess, because it's you do it so many times in a week. But when the curtain goes up and you hear that and you feel that energy from the audience, they take over, and it just becomes this swirl of energy rather than work.
Yes. And what about you? What do you love most about it?
You know, a lot of my friends say that when I do, like when I get to sing Dancing in the Street, they're like, you know, you blacked out. And I like that because I do actually sometimes I forget like who the last person I spoke to on the phone was or whatever's happening in my life. And if I can make the audience members feel the exact same way, forget what's happening in their lives and just bring it back and to take these people through that trip down memory lane is so nostalgic for them. I don't even know, sometimes I don't even know if they really see us. Like I think they're on a trip on down memory lane because it is the music of everyone's youth,
yes.
Which is not many companies or songs or record labels or whatever that can say that, because I mean I didn't really listen to, you know, whatever my mom was listening to back then other than Motown. Right. You know, like this, my mom listened to Motown, my grandmother listened to Motown, I listened to Motown, and I'm sure that when I have children, they'll listen to somebody that was on Motown too. You can't get rid of it. It's in every commercial. It's in when you go through the stores, when you're in Macy's, H&M, you hear it. It's everywhere. It's always going to be there.
Yes. And you know, you mentioned something very poignant too, because you said to who are living. Because when you see the little boy playing Michael Jackson, who was amazing, yes. by the way, and you think about the losses, Marvin Gaye.
Mother, mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some understanding here today. Picket lines, picket signs. People don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, so you can see what's going on, what's going on. So many,
Rick James, Tina Marie, it is very poignant, and it's wonderful to have what seems like them brought back to life for a moment in that way. There are some political overtones too, because of course Berry Gordy recorded Dr. King's sayings, as well as then Marvin Gaye deciding he wanted a more political bent with what's going on and all of those songs. What does it mean for you from a historic perspective to think about African Americans back at the time that Berry Gordy founded Motown and what you're able to do personally today? I'll start with you.
Well, I think it's wonderful, especially with what's going on in the world today, in our country today. It really revived the song What's Going On and made it so much more, we need this show. We need it. It's a nostalgia trip, and it's a great time for people to forget about their problems in life, but then also it brings hope, and it brings to light the fact that we shall overcome and we can do this, and it's just a testament to the music and the love that the music was made with Motown.
Any particular favorite moments of the show for you? You mentioned Dancing in the Streets. Which
yeah,
is one of the,
I love Dancing in the Street. I think for me, it is like Broadway to me.
Yes.
You know, it's got every element. There's singing, there's dancing, there's crazy lights, there's a costume change, there's sparkles, there's everything that's Broadway.
Wigs.
Wigs, everything that's Broadway, and everybody's in it at some point, which is really, really cool because, you know, there's a lot of us, but a lot of the times we're not on stage together. There are very few times where we're on the stage together. So I love that. I'm particularly happy doing What's Going On right now because of what Nick just said, you know, all the things that are happening and, you know, all over the world. I can't even just point out one place. We immediately want to talk about Ferguson because,
yes.
you know, that's what the song was about. And unfortunately, the song is relevant still.
Tragically, yes.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, it happened before, we got better before, so hopefully we'll get better again, you know, and when I sing that song, it just makes me feel, it makes me feel many things, many things, but at the end of it all, it's like maybe we're bringing some awareness back into, you know, what's happening, because a lot of people want to put a sheet over their eyes about what's happening, but it's real, so.
Yes, and the fact that it continues. I mean, talking about Ferguson now, we can look back to Rodney King, we look back to just so many tragic incidences, and especially for young black men. And when you think about when they show Barry as a young man with this dream and the racism that was encountered there, but the dream to succeed is something that's so poignant, and it has transformed all of our lives in that very special way. We talked about wigs, and you get to wear a couple
Yes.
Smokey.
Yes,
and
I have a great Jerry curl, a great press, and a great afro.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's really wonderful, really wonderful.
Those fun moments, and of course, showing him performing with his then wife, who was one of the original.
Claudette.
Yes, Claudette, one of
Robinson.
the original members there. When you got this part, what did you think it would be, and how has doing the show been different from what you anticipated, if it has been in any way?
Well, I was lucky enough to be a part of the original Broadway cast,
Yeah.
and I understudied Smokey Robinson. I played a character called Norman Whitfield.
Oh, yes.
And
Famous writer.
Yes, the famous producer and writer, and he got to fight with Barry a lot. And we had a bunch of scenes. I mean, when I first started, the lab before, we workshopped the show before we put it up, before we get into rehearsal. And the show was, there's so much information, and Mr. Gordy wanted to include so much of the story that the show was like over 4 hours long.
Oh, really? When you, oh my gosh, before you whittled it down for Broadway?
Yes, exactly. So there was a lot of information. There was, we got to live through these moments, and then eventually they become talked about, and you know, we decide and we mold what story we're trying to tell and make it more specific. So it was wonderful to live through all these different moments and to meet all these different people. So I wasn't ready for that to be, I didn't realize that everybody was going to care about this story so much within the Motown family.
Yes.
So we got to meet Stevie, we got to meet Smokey, you know, we get to talk to all these people and learn them as people, not as these mythical creatures.
Right,
you
but
know,
the human beings.
The human beings.
Who also performed in an incredible way.
Exactly. And that blew my mind even more, because it's easy to just, you know, look at them as idols and call them gods, but to realize that they're people and they're doing these amazing things blew my mind even more.
Yes, and when you talk about getting them, that Stevie impersonation is dead on
Yeah,
too. He's
he
great
gets
with
it.
that.
Yeah.
How about you, Patrice, in terms of what has surpassed your expectations perhaps in the show, or surprised you?
Yeah, you know, like you said, the mythical creature thing, it's crazy to me that Barry Gordy knows my name, you know, and like all these people who were magical people that we never ever imagined knowing, they've taken us in and they treat us like we are part of the Motown family, and they say that we are. They're very clear that you guys are part of the legend now. And that's crazy to me, that, you know, because I've done a lot of Broadway shows and you're just part of the show. And when the show is over, that's it. But I feel so much differently with this show because of the fact that they show so much love and support and encouragement. They are so proud of us. They want us to do well. They want you to succeed in this show, outside of this show, just in life. And they know our names. They know our names. They know our names. They know about us just like we know about them.
Yes, and they danced to see Barry Gordy dancing on stage at the end for the curtain call. Amazing. But it's so exciting. It's just really touching, moving. I was on a high afterwards, and and everyone we were talking to was just like, wasn't that great? And what about this? And you want to share the moments, and that's why it really is something that can't be missed. Everyone really needs to see this, because it does reawaken things. It also speaks to the importance of family embracing each other. I mean, when we think about the tragic losses, I think if only there had been an opportunity for each of these stars whom we lost when they were struggling at that time, to have anyone who could have maybe made that difference or pulled them up. And I think that's what we have to do. I love the moment. I'm going to ask us to hold hands, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. This is one of the magic moments of Motown the Musical. You have to see it. It's in town, and it will really inform your life, change your life, and it has impacted all of our lives. So thank you both very much.
Thank you for
having me. Good to talk with you.
Likewise.